one alternative way to make coffee out here. They don't make it anymore. It's by GSI. It's called the H2 Joe. It's like one of my favorites. So it's just like an infuser, except put your grounds in here, screwed onto any wide mouth. I've got stainless steel to prevent from the plastic leaching. Shake it, stir it. You might need to crack it and release some pressure. The lids were known to failing, but yeah, if you want to make a liter of coffee all at once, this is the way to go. I'm just gonna make a cup for now. That run's really difficult. It's coming over the hill from the east. It must be circulating down in this riverbed in this valley, because I'm getting it coming from behind as well as over this way. So. Almost. I don't know if you can hear that wind. Yeah, it's definitely struggling here in the wind. I don't know if you can see that. It's not even boiling. We're a little bit at elevation, but not that much. But this wind right now is coming directly from behind us. I'm sure you can hear it. Let's see if turning around. So I wanted to come out and do this trip just to get out here today. It's such a beautiful area, although I didn't anticipate this wind. And do like a kind of first impressions on this GSI Pinnacle Pro stove. I really don't want this to be a gear review channel, but when it came for me to researching this to see if it was a stove I wanted to buy, I was comparing it against the Primus 2-pike, and then there's another model, I think with fewer features, or there's the Kinja, I think, is also in that same series. This GSI it's really, really good. Right now it's actually struggling, probably because we've got such a strong wind behind us. The size, really, you can't get around it. It's so thin, it's so compact. Unfortunately, here in Canada, when I went to buy this, it was advertised as including an optional stuff sack, and then it was not actually included, which was a bit disappointing. I think if you wanted to use it to go down to the river, like if you're just gonna park your car and walk down to the river or to the lake or something like that, you might want to have the carrying sack. But to that point, you're still gonna want to have, pots and pans, utensils, wash bin, can opener, probably next to where you're cooking anyways. So for me, I'm just using a tote. I would think that would be probably what most people would want to realistically use it anyways. It looks great in the publications, in the literature. They're marketing stuff in the shoulder carry. And don't get me wrong, I'd rather have it and not use it than need it not have it. But since it wasn't available, yeah, it is what it is. But for me, the size was just second to none. I did a car camping trip last fall, and I was using my larger camping stove for canoeing, and it was just a struggle. I was just trying to make pasta, and you're frying your veggies and you're trying to boil your noodles. Having the two burners, just yeah, commit to it, go for it. I have nothing but good things to say for it. Ironically, because it's struggling right now. It's sort of, the results speak for themselves, but I attribute that a lot more to conditions than anything. And I am using the Sea to Summit Alpha Series pans here. This is the 8-inch for sort of a size reference, but on the stove itself, how compact it is, and then also too, what was important to me from a feature set was to be able to have the dual piezo igniter. As you saw, it didn't strike. It worked perfectly fine at home. I don't know if that has anything to do with the cold conditions. It's around freezing right now, so maybe that has something to do with it. I'm really truthfully not sure. Yeah, I really don't want this today to be a reflection of its lack of performance, but it's worth noting. I mean, if it's windy, then yeah, maybe this isn't for you. They do have the sort of the low cutaway, which actually really does work to be able to like operate. You could theoretically bring this a lot closer to yourself and not have to worry about navigating around handles. So that cutaway is nice, but I think it's like a double-edged sword because right now it's maybe not providing as much wind protection. The fact that the cable, has to be removed to actually get it to fold down. It would have been nice if they could integrate some sort of way that you could sort of store the cabling inside of it and then maybe just clip the attachment for the bottle, onto it so it was all nice one cohesive unit. And that little flap, it's a bit of an awkward spot. I forgot to even put on the bottle before I erected the stove, so that's something to consider. And then I did see in another review up here in the corner, there's these little rubber grommets, and they're absolutely right. The fitment is not perfect, and what it does, it rolls that rubber grommet back in, and it sort of catches. Something I do find kind of odd is the locking mechanism. It works by keeping it from closing, but I wish it was two position where it would also keep it from opening as well. Because when it's folded up, it's actually really quite thin. There's no real good solid way to grab it. And if you do grab it, say by the front, the lip comes down, and what you'll end up, or you could end up doing, is actually just opening the lid. So I'd like to see that this would lock, and it's locked in its down closed position as well, locking in its up position. And again, even then, I'm not really sure why it exists in that form, because the windshields on the sides are going to prevent it. So maybe that's for situations where you're not going to use the windshield and you're worried about it kind of collapsing down and maybe bringing your boiling water, if this ever boils. I'm really not sure. So I'd like to see it lock in both. This does concern me a little bit from reliability. This is the first time I've used this stove out in the field. I thought it was going to be a nice day today. So maybe it's a lack of power. Maybe it's the wind. Maybe it's the elevation. I think we're at 3,500 feet, or about 1,200 meters right now, give or take. So it's not high. It's not like we're up in the mountains, but we're, in the foothills. So that might be playing into it. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't want to make this a gear review channel, but there's really a lack of information out there right now on this particular product. And I definitely wanted to put something out there just to sort of share with people my first impressions, sort of my thoughts on the matter. So form factor, great. Price, reasonable, competitive with everything else. Like to see this lock mechanism improved. Maybe a handle, a flip down handle, but I could give or take that. Wouldn't be necessary if it, locked in its closed position. Having to remove the cord, is it a deal breaker? No. Is it one extra step? Yes. So I'll definitely keep you updated as I use it, and go from there. So thanks for checking the video out. I'm going to wait for this to boil, make a cup of coffee, and enjoy the area. So we'll talk to you later. Bye for now. Cheers. Oh, that's good. It's actually really hot.